Okay, so summer is, rapidly coming, and I know some of you will be trying to get that beach body ready, and for that, some of you may be looking at some weight loss supplements. And I've had a look online, there's literally thousands to choose from. So using my knowledge as a medical student, I thought I'd do a bit of research into them to see whether, one, they actually do what they say they do on the tin, and two, whether they're safe. And basically the point is just to see whether they're not some kind of snake oil that has no results and is going to do more damage than benefit in the end. So I put a couple of limits on my research. So the first thing is I did no research on prescription drugs or illegal drugs. So I only looked into supplements that you can legally buy over the shelf. I also only looked into products which had a high amount of research and good quality research. So if I thought that the research evidence for it was not good enough for me to make a video or include it in this video, then I didn't. I use two websites, which is PhD Nutrition and a website called Myochem, which are basically some of the two ones that come up first. I thought they were the first two to come up, and so they're probably the two that other people will be looking at the most. Basically had a long list of all the different kind of supplements or different types of supplements. So then I narrowed down further by getting all of the supplements that were kind of common between those two websites, and I researched those ones, and those are all on the screen now, all of the ones that I looked into. So I don't know if PhD Nutrition and Myochem are necessarily scientifically backed. I don't know that, but they're the ones which come up first, so I thought that would be a good place to start. So a little bit of a disclaimer: I'm only a medical student, which means that this is not medical advice. This is only something that I've looked into in my spare time, and it's not tailored advice for you. I also, as I say, looked into it in my spare time, which means that it might not be the best research, and I might have not included all the research. So if there's anything that you think that I've missed, please comment that down below, because it's not only beneficial for me, but it's also beneficial for everyone else watching this video. I thought I'd categorize the supplements into three. So the first one is supplements that I either thought had no good evidence, so the evidence was either just said they didn't work, or no evidence for them at all. And then the second one was supplements that I thought had mixed bag evidence, so some of the evidence said it worked, some of it said it didn't. And then the third group is basically all of the good research. There was good quality research, and the research said that it was effective. First up is the no good evidence pile, and there was quite a lot of those. So rather than going through them all, I thought I'd just put a list up on the screen which you can read. You can pause the video and have a look through them, and then you can see whether there's any of those that you're taking and which to stay away from. So first up in the mixed evidence category, we have L-carnitine. One systematic review found that 2,000 milligrams daily of L-carnitine had modest effects on reducing fat mass. Another review from the 90s found no fat loss effects. I also looked into the side effects, which found that they were mostly minimal, and if there were anything, it would have been sort of nausea. So it generally works and is sort of safe. The next one I looked into was green tea. So one review into green tea found that 460 milligrams a day of this green tea extract reduced body fat, but this review only included 15 papers, which is not a lot, basically. Another review looked at 5 studies, which is even smaller, and found a small, non-significant effect. But what I did find was that up to 338 milligrams per day of green tea is safe, but higher amounts could potentially damage the liver. So the next one is olive leaf extract. So I could not find a systematic review. Again, I was only looking for a short period of time. I wasn't looking into this extensively, so if you know of one, please let me know. But one study suggested it helps reduce fat in obese women, and the evidence on safety is limited. So there was minor side effects found, like coughing and stomach pain, unless you have a serious allergy. So if you have an allergy, stay away from these things. So the next was black pepper. There was no systematic review for black pepper. But one study suggested it might help with appetite modulation, which means that it kind of stops you from feeling hungry. So black pepper's active ingredient is called piperine, which can interact with several drugs, and it can also affect sperm production and be toxic to a fetus. So always, as I say, consult a doctor before you take any dosage of any of these things. So I looked into cortisol blockers, and the evidence for that I found was quite poor. But they might work on people with cortisol disorders like Cushing syndrome. So again, just before you go and take that, bear in mind that the evidence is weak. Now, I realized when I was going through and editing that I missed out quite an important one. So the next one is thyroid regulating supplements. Now, the thyroid gland produces two hormones, and those T3 and T4, and one of their functions is to cause breakdown of fat. Now, they do a lot of different things, but that's one of them. You can't get T3 and T4 over the counter. Those are, quite potent hormones. And if you go and try and buy them online, just bear in mind that if you take either T3 or T4, that actually can kill you. So be very careful, and please don't do that. But according to one of the websites I was looking at, there are a couple of supplements that can help regulate the thyroid and increase its function. The first was iodine, which is what thyroid hormones are actually made out of. I found that increases thyroid function, but only if your thyroid is already at a lower function than normal. Iodine probably won't kill you, but it also does have some minor side effects. Another website that I looked at suggested that selenium, B vitamins and zinc all improve thyroid function and fat loss, but the evidence wasn't really that good in my opinion. So next is the good evidence category. So these are the ones that I thought had really good evidence, and I thought that it definitely makes a big difference. So the first one in that category is fat enzyme blockers. Now, there's strong evidence for these, but there's loads and loads and loads of different places you can buy these online. I don't know how reputable or safe these different sources of fat enzyme blockers are. So there is one called Orlistat, which is available by prescription and over the counter in the UK in smaller doses, and that is well researched and effective. So if you can go and see a doctor and they say that you can take it, then that's great, or you might be able to buy a reduced dose over the counter. So the one supplement that was said again and again and again was caffeine. So caffeine I thought was the best researched. I thought there was really good evidence for it, and it's really promising, and it's over the counter. Its effect most likely comes from appetite suppression and increased activity, because it's just going to make you sort of move more, which doing stuff burns calories, right? It helps you lose weight. So an effective and safe dose was about 3 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight. If you weigh 100 kilograms, then you can take 300 milligrams of caffeine. I don't know why that took me so long to work out. But also you should be aware of the side effects, which they're visible on the screen for you now. So just as a sort of final message, in the US, dietary supplements don't need FDA approval. So even if you go into a store, I know loads of people don't trust things on the internet, but even if you go into a store, they might not be safe, and that might be the same in other countries. Some of these supplements, if you get them from a not so great source, they can be laced with prescription drugs, so they can be laced with steroids or something like that. Plenty of cases out there of people using that as an excuse in other sports, saying that they just took laced supplements online. So you should only really buy them from trusted sources. And if you're ever concerned, please, please, please ask a healthcare professional, which could be your doctor, could be a pharmacist. Also, please bear in mind that supplements are only part of the picture. So losing weight, it doesn't matter what supplements you're taking, the main thing is the main thing. And the main thing for losing weight is diet. And then on top of that, exercise can really help. So in order of your priorities, it should be diet, exercise, and then maybe you can consider supplements to help you out a little bit. So if you have any questions or comments, and anything you think I've got wrong, please drop them down below. If you liked this video, if you thought it was useful, please give it a like. That's really useful to me. And also comment anything that you think I should do in the future, any things that you would like me to cover. And if there's any supplements that you thought I missed, then let me know. So yeah, thank you very much. I understand that was quite a brief video. I'm sorry I haven't been posting recently as much as I normally would. I've got exams coming up now at the end of the year, so I'm sort of focusing on those at the moment. But yeah, thank you for the time, and I hope that was useful to you.